We're the indie project Bee and Theo, and we've been living and travelling the world in vans for the past 6 years. We're currently renovating an abandoned stone barn in Portugal to turn into a beautiful tiny home for us and our cats Ginjey Bear and Furrnando. Follow our journey from the very beginning as we document the whole process of creating an off-grid home. Good morning and welcome back to another instalment of our Portuguese barn conversion series. If you saw our last video, it was all hands on deck getting ready with this new year, very excited about what we've got coming, and today it just continues all the excitement because we're getting to work on our floor.
So this morning's job, before we tackle the floor, we need to move this out the way. This has actually been here for how long now? Probably 3 years?
2019 I think we moved it, so yeah.
3 years this has been stationary, so it's going to be interesting to move, and like I said before, we don't actually have a tow bar to move it, so I'm going to have to winch it out the way with the tractor. Hopefully it moves because I want to get it into a place where someone can then come with a truck with a tow bar and tow it down to the bottom of our land. Because we're on a steep hill, I think if I did it with the tractor myself, I'd end up probably killing myself, and we don't want that because I need to finish the barn conversion. But there's a lot of mess around here. It's kind of become a dumping ground of where we store everything, so we need a little tidy up and then we'll get the tractor up and running. So for all you guys who were wondering who the mystery person was in the last video, this right here is Ricky, absolute legend, and he's going to be helping us around the land with various jobs, but also you can see he's got a camera and he's already shooting some B-roll.
Like Theo mentioned, we positioned the horse box in a super awkward place because we were never planning on really moving it, and we thought if there's ever any time when we're not here, if it's so difficult for even us to move, no one else is going to be interested in moving it, which is great. But now it means that when we want to move it, it is going to be pretty tricky. But this is where the tractor comes to the rescue. Fingers crossed it'll be able to do what we want it to.
I'm just going to fill the tractor up with diesel because it's probably going to take quite a bit of grunt to move these horse butts. I think it weighs about a ton unloaded, so it's not too bad. I've definitely pulled heavier things with this little tractor, and like B said, like the reason we didn't want it being stolen is because it used to house all of our tools for the project, so we wanted to make sure it was super secure and wasn't going anywhere, but it's bit us on the ass a little bit. Now we have to move it. Always on the scene.
You filthy, where have you been? Little nesting area. I need to shut it. You found a new favourite spot? Oh no.
Come on.
Come on, Furrnando.
I feel the wind against my puzzled face. 5-speed bicycle round the cape. Cobblestone pathways, memory lane. High tides rolling in to Portland, Maine. And I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone, and that's just fine. 'Cause I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone, lost in my mind. Change comes slow, they say, but it's not so far away.
So we've managed to get out of the really awkward area where there's all the bushes and everything in the way, and now the front is in the perfect position for us to attach the tractor there so we can tow it out nice and easily, because obviously doing it backwards is pretty tough. So hopefully this will be nice and smooth. It's been pretty simple so far. Definitely not been as bad as we thought it would be.
This tractor is an absolute legend. It just tows anything.
So unfortunately, we've had to stop. We were moving it really nicely with the tractor, but this one wheel is seized, and we jacked it up, but all of the materials that came with the jack to get the wheel off, none of them fit, so we can't actually get this wheel off. It has a spare wheel, we have everything, but the tools with it don't work, and unfortunately we don't have one that fits either. So that's all that we can do with it today. We've still got other things that we need to do anyway, so we're just going to leave it here for now, get the right tools, figure it out later on, but we really want to get cracking with the floor, so that's what we're going to do next. Theo is just jacking up with some wood, and then we can leave it. We've moved into the barn now. I've put it on super wide view, so hopefully you can see everything, and it is a bit of a mess. We haven't really done much in here for about a week or so, maybe even longer than that, and there's some bits and bobs in here that need to come out again. Things find their way in that shouldn't be in here, but we need to get all of them out of here. Like right in front of me, I've got the table saw, Theo's bike, random bits and pieces, wood that not necessarily doesn't need to be in here, and then we also need to find the little bits and pieces for the final pieces of floor battens that need to go down, because if you cast your mind back to when we were doing that, we didn't 100% finish it. There's like, I think 2 pieces that need to go down because we were just so tired and making weird decisions. So we stopped, and now I need to find those final pieces so we can put those in. But firstly, we do need to tidy up because it has become a mess.
I'm still out here and I'm still moving along, still wondering. I'm still at it, I'm still keeping on, still wondering. I'm not lost, I'm still just wondering. My aim is distant, far away. I'm believing in long reaching. I'm leaning in and I'm hanging on. I'm still out here and I'm still moving along, still wondering. I'm still at it, I'm still keeping on.
So the wheel was super difficult to actually get off because these bolts were just ingrained in dirt. There's no rust on them,
That's good.
But there was just dirt and like cobwebs and all sorts of things. But I've managed to free up the problem. So basically the wheel was not moving. So when we were towing it with the tractor, it wasn't going where we wanted it to go necessarily, because one of the wheels was completely frozen, which meant it was just dragging along the floor. But I freed it up with a hammer and now it's moving nicely. So I'm going to put the wheel back on and then we can get it towed. But I've managed to free up the problem.
Disconnect it from the tractor. Well, the handbrake works, which is great. Next stage.
Working. Absolutely mental idea, but we got a pretty big hill to get down and some really narrow parts, but I think we can do it. So I absolutely hate relying on other people, and that is why we are dragging this trailer in position for our goats ourselves. And I've got such a good team here. Ricky and Bee are absolutely smashing it. And what I'm doing with the tractor is reversing backwards down the hill and just guiding and giving some weight to the trailer so it doesn't just have a mind of its own and just shoot off down the hill. And it's going so well. We just maneuvered through one of the most technical parts, so it should be easier from here. And we've just got to this bend area here, and what we've done is we've attached the strap to the front of the trailer now. So I'm going to go from the front and tow it because this is a slightly flatter area and it won't roll on its own. So let's get going. So now we've got the horse box in its final position. I've just gone up to the top, grabbed this slab, and I'm going to put this under the jockey wheel just to stop the jockey wheel sinking when it gets muddy in the winter and it starts raining. This area will probably get a bit muddy, so this will just stop the jockey wheel disappearing into nowhere. Good morning guys, it's another beautiful day here in Central Portugal, and after we'd done all that work yesterday we headed to get our second dose of the vaccine, and it's really hit Bee hard. So today the Bee is laid up in bed, she's not going to be able to do any work whatsoever. It's kind of affecting me, I can feel it, but it's okay, the show must go on. I'm going to battle through my symptoms because they're nowhere near as bad as what Bee's got. She feels freezing cold, she's shivering, but she's also sweating at the same time, so she's definitely going through it. And today I'm going to do something easier. Originally I was going to do the floor. I'm going to do something easier and work on a farm gate. So I completely forgot to tell you guys what the gate is actually for, and it's for the goat enclosure. The other gate that we have, the metal one, we were going to use, but it's actually a bit annoying because it's in two halves, and it's going to be really annoying to open it up when I'm driving a vehicle and stuff into their enclosure, delivering food, straw, hay, all that type of thing. So I've just cut down the vertical pieces of the gate, and I've done a nice curve. I wanted it to look nice. I just used this grinding wheel here for the grinder, put that on, drew round it, got a nice curve, and it should just look that little bit nicer.
I could see through all the faces telling me to find my place, and I'm so close that I can taste it on my tongue. Tell the king he's overthrown, follow where the river's flown, underneath the water cold, all overcome. Never tired and never drop, what's inside can't be stopped. Light it up, light it up, light it up, light it up like the sun. Light it up, light it up.
So I'm just about to start laying out all the pieces now that they're all cut. Well, pretty much all of them are cut. I'm going to bolt it all together before I cut the braces that go on a diagonal, so I know and get them perfect. But the reason I went for decking boards for this gate is because it's really difficult to get treated wood in Portugal. It's not like when we're back in the UK, you can go in and get any kind of wood ready treated, and if I didn't buy treated wood, it would have been a long process treating it all, and it's just a pain in the butt. So I went for decking boards, and they're nice and cheap, and it means this gate actually won't cost much. gone for building this gate is super simple and really quick to put together. It requires no like half lap joints, no fancy carpentry. I've just got my 2 upright battens, if that's what you want to call them, and you have one on the bottom, and then your horizontal battens you lay on top of that, and you basically just sandwich the 2 bits together, and then you put bolts through here so it's nice and sturdy. I don't really use screws anymore outside in Portugal because they tend to just snap in the really hot 40 degrees here that we get in the summer, but bolts, they're not going anywhere, and it should look really nice as well. So I've just finished clamping the diagonal battens onto the gate, and it feels so solid, and I'm actually so stoked with how it looks. It looks like a proper English farm gate, just what I was going for, and I'm not gonna lie, it's turned out better than I thought it was gonna. So all I need to do now is put some bolts through these diagonal beams, and then it's pretty much good to start thinking about hanging it, really.
Slow it down. Everyone's been slowing down, but I've been up all night thinking of you. Hold tight. Everyone's been keeping time, I can't see to choose. It's never too soon.
Absolutely love working outside on days like today. And look, here's the finished gate pretty much, although I just realised that these fixings that will fix to the post in the ground, I've got one there and one here, and I went for these black ones which look really nice. I don't have the right bolts, unfortunately, to go through here, so I'm gonna have to leave that for another day, but I'm gonna take it down now to where its home is. But look at that, guys, I am so pleased with it. So that is it. The gate is finished. Like I said before, I'm so stoked with how it's turned out, and this is the position where it's gonna live, and I think it looks really nice. I think the goats are definitely gonna enjoy it. So that is it, another day done. The sun is going down behind me. It's been a beautiful day working outside, it really has, and the gate turned out way better than I could have imagined. I'm definitely going to be making a few more of them at some point to go around the property because they just look great and they're very functional. So all I need to do is get some supplies so I can actually hang it, and then jobs are good and we can put up the fencing and get the goats. But tune in for the next video because we will be tackling the floor finally. I know you guys are waiting for the floor and we're waiting to put the floor in. It's just the timing hasn't been right and Bee's been ill today, so hopefully tomorrow we can get on with that. So tune in to the next video to see how we get on.